Rap Radio. Raw and uncut.
Cubo, and welcome to Chicano Rap Radio. I'm your homie Snipes holding it down, and today we have a very special guest in the house. We have no other than Jimmy from Urban King. So without further ado, let's welcome the homeboy to the show. What's up, dog? How you doing?
Chilling, man. I appreciate you getting me on this.
I appreciate you making the time. I know that you stay in motion and I know you stay busy. So I appreciate you making the time to sit down and chop it up with us. Just real quick, and because you are, always moving, I want to get right into the interview. And so, but before we do that, where are you at right now?
Right now, I'm at the Santa Fe Springs Swami. I have a shop here.
Okay.
So I really wanted to get into this interview as quick as possible because I like to be in the environment. So what better than my shop right here?
That's right. And what do you sell at your shop?
So over here, I got two different shops. There's one portion of it that's nothing but oldies, old school, old funk. I'm pretty much like geared towards providing all of the culture music that everybody loves, from Donnie Albert, May Wells, arcades. We sell vinyls, rare vinyls, and all that stuff. But then I have another section in the back. It's kind of like a speakeasy. It's really hidden, one little door. But once you come in the back, it's all underground hip hop. So it's pretty much dedicated to all underground hip hop, but it's of the psycho realm. So everything here is psycho realm related. And with that comes underground hip hop and anything else that it revolves around that community. So it's two different shops. But right now I'm in the back of the Psycho Realm shop in the back. And you guys could check it out. It's at the Psycho Shop on Instagram. And it's a very staple shop, man. We've been here for many years. People come from all over the world. They stop, they come, they take pictures. They got a lot of cool murals, and it's just a real cool vibe spot to come visit when you come to LA, or if you're even from LA.
Right. And if you're not from LA, still pop in and check it out because you've been supporting and contributing to the culture for a long time. You got your start in the distribution side of things. Is that correct?
100%. Actually, from the Santa Fe Springs Swami of just selling stuff. Selling CDs. That's kind of essentially how I got put on game. I was really young, 12, 13 years old, selling for somebody else. They got in trouble, went to jail, put me to not know what the fuck to do. What better yet to continue doing what I'm doing by connecting with the people that I met. And yeah, by the time I was 15, 16, I already had my own little table, a little Honda pulled up, and just started from there, man, just selling music, really understanding. Like at that point, it helped me really understand how powerful influence is, because when people will come up to the spot, literally whatever you tell them to buy, they purchase. So that's how I started, man. And being real young, people liked me a lot. I was 15, 16. They really were inspired to seeing a little young kid moving stuff. And people still come to this day, man, like years after, like, man, I remember when you were a little kid, you used to sell. And this is, man, the Swami in this shop has definitely been like the introduction of my entrepreneurship, and for me to be able to, acquire this opportunity for me to do different brands and different.
One of the things that is really inspiring about you is that you have been grinding for a long time at a very young age, and you continue to do it. But it's also solid that you haven't lost, contact with your roots. I mean, you have other successful businesses, but you still continue to feed this side of your income, which is in a lot of ways what got you in the door. Before we really kind of get into the music, I wanted to talk a little bit more about Jimmy, the entrepreneur, Jimmy, the motivational, individual that you are. One of the movements that you have started is the Set for Life, movement. What is the purpose behind that?
I mean, Set for Life essentially is just something that it's kind of like a lifestyle within my mind of how I run my business and how I was able to get this far. So I'm just kind of like coining that to make it sound cool, but essentially it's just a way of thinking and a way we should operate on a daily basis in order for us to get to where we want to get to. So the Set for Life slogan, stay busy slogan, all of this stuff it's just me blabbering to what I talk to myself, to my audience, to my fans, and to the community, because the stronger our community can be, the smarter they are, then the smarter we can all move together. And I definitely need that, because since I started, it's always been like a mess. Everybody's always messed. Nobody's really helping each other, and
Right.
it's just kind of like it's been disappointing for me, because I go into these big corporations trying to represent us as a whole, and these corporate companies just laugh at me every single time. And I know that if we were all come together,
Right.
operate with great integrity, and have like, and along with the passion that we all have, we can
Right.
get really far. So the
Yeah.
Set for Life is just me sharing ideas that I tell myself, ideologies and theories of how to think, how to move, what you should be doing, and yeah, and I call it Set for Life. Like,
Well, I think it carries a lot of weight because you're not just like, you're not just trying to motivate. I mean, you're coming from a position of power. You're coming from, someone who is successful, someone who started at a very young age. And, you kicking down that knowledge to anybody that wants to listen, anybody that's on the come up now. I think it's solid. Instead of trying to like, oh, let me keep this to myself. You're more about
yeah,
empowering the people. And I think how you mentioned that if we were all together, like if we had a bigger coalition, we definitely would be a bigger force to be reckoned with, because we're deep, but divide and conquer, and that's what they've done. They keep everybody divided, so it's hard for us
yeah,
to really kind of get that bigger piece of the pie that we deserve.
fuck yeah, man. And I really think that, how you just said right now, that's what they've done. Essentially, we've done it to ourselves. Like, who's they? Who is that they? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
we've done it to ourselves, and it's been systematically because of, we're all second, third generation right now, so we have a lot better opportunities as far as having
Right.
papers and doing everything legit. But when our parents came over here, I'm second generation, so when my mom came over here, she definitely didn't have no papers. It was illegal, doing everything she
Hmm.
could, and she was thriving with that, right? But we're no
Right.
longer in those days.
Right.
So for us, not for us, for me as an individual to think as my mom thought, and to be that type of a hustler is good. But imagine doing it on a level of corporate, a level of business,
Right.
a level
Right.
of being aware of exactly what you can do without having to be a hustler, without having to do things. Fuck, how can I say it, bro? Like hustling, bro. Like, we don't have to do that no more. We business people now.
Right.
We can
Right.
sit
Right.
down on the table and conversate and be intellectual and make negotiations, because we legit.
Yeah.
We don't, I mean, I didn't come up selling drugs. I came up selling music
Right.
and
Right.
clothing and doing all this shit. So I really feel that we have to look at it that way. We business people now. We're no
Yeah.
longer street people, so
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know how we got to that conversation, but
Well,
yeah, man, I'm really like excited because we're finally getting there. We're
yeah.
finally getting there. I see it. I see the sun rising, you know what I mean? And it's
Mhm.
exciting.
I agree. I think there is definitely like a mind shift, with young Chicanos or young Latinos in regards to entrepreneurship. People that grow up, in the neighborhood, and they go to these, low income schools. They're not really teaching us the skills that we need to be successful in business. So when you talk about some of
100%.
the things, right? So when you talk about some of the things that you talk about, I'm like, that's right. I'm with it, because that's what our community needs. We need to teach them about money management. We need to teach them about, networking and planning things out. I believe that most business should be about like 80 to 90% planning, 10% execution. If you spend,
Sure.
most of your time, plotting your move, then all you have to do is execute it. But if you're just trying to figure it out as you go along, then you're just always kind of shooting in the dark. So you've definitely been one person that has came from a position of knowledge and power, and you kicking that back down to the community, I think is solid. As a matter of fact, I mean, I feel like you need to go on a little world speaking tour, motivating us,
Appreciate
speeches or
that, man.
something like that. Yeah, because following you on your stories and some of the things that you say, it's real talk. Your reward is equivalent to the kind of problems that you're overcoming, and those are all little morsels of
Sure.
nuggets that you're just kicking back to us. Re-
Yeah. That's one of my
re
favorite ones, man. That's one of my favorite ones.
Yeah, that's a Elon Musk kind of philosophy, isn't it?
Actually, in the beginning, I thought it was, and essentially the quote is, "You are paid in direct proportion based on the solution that you solve. And Elon Musk, I read it on his Twitter, but as I was doing more research, Napoleon Hill is the one that said it.
Oh shit. That's
Yeah,
right.
it's a Napoleon Hill. It's part of his book. If you read his book, he says it on there, and it's a genius ideology, man. It's, I'm always doing different business with different people, and everybody that I deal with, they all have their flaws. Like we all like shit happens bad, bro. Shit happens bad to us, regardless if it's business or not. But the more you can handle and not quit and I guess like turn the fire off, the more you're rewarded for that. And essentially, CEOs of big corporations, that's what they get paid a lot of money for, to solve
Yeah.
problems, to make sure the money's coming in, to make sure that your accounting is good, logistics is good, your management is good, your revenue stream is good. So, the more you can handle, the more valuable you are. And I think that's what I think skill sets for especially for this generation is fucking, it's like I see it easy for them, which is dope.
Right.
I think we've gone a long ways, and which is why I'm so excited. Like I'm telling you, man, I can see the forefront. We almost there as far as brown owned businesses. It's coming. It's here.
Yeah, and us supporting each other is going to be a big part of that. I think if we support each other's businesses, if we support each other's crafts, that empowers us and it keeps the money within the community instead of going and spending that money outside of the community where someone else is going to take it and not put it back. To support local schools, support local businesses, and in turn support local families. So I'm down with the vision. I'm down with with what you're saying. And that was one of the reasons why I wanted to kick off this interview, because I think it's important for people that are watching this to understand that there's more to the music business than just the music. I mean, it's music business, and you need to be able to navigate those other areas of business, like you mentioned,
For sure.
marketing, management, research and development, all these other things that are going to allow you to elevate your level and elevate your craft. Now, I know you have several different projects, but I mean, what are some of the ones that you're the most proud of that you've been able to be really successful at?
I hate to tell people what I do because I like people to see what I do.
Yeah.
I hate to like, cause for me it's bragging, but I mean, definitely the Cycle Shop. Follow my Instagram at the Cycle Shop. This has been, like I said, it's been growing every single year. It gets stronger and stronger. My brand, Old English brand, you guys could follow that IG at Old English brand. That has definitely grown. And it's not about how many t-shirts we sell. It's about the value of the brand representation that I am like very enthusiastic of. The process is how we've managed to grab a logo and made the logo have so much value to it, and so that has been done. That has been like something I'm prideful on. Of course, my Urban Keys music group, all my other artists who I was working with, Crazy, Charlie Rowe, Jasper, of course, Psycho Realm. I mean, damn, there's so many artists I work with. I mean, I can tell you I work with 99% of the music industry, and
Right.
I'm excited to see that their music still sells, that people look at me as if I'm like the forefront of that. And I don't see it that way, because I just I don't see it that way. But a lot of people come up to me, and they just love what I did with all that stuff. And they still are very, very, very big fans. I'm developing another like events that's called Night of the Blaxican. It's a Black and Brown Unity. We do it in South Central. We do it in downtown LA. That has been a very, very impactful, dope project. It's grown to be huge. You guys can follow that at Night of the Blaxican. I'm working with a new corrido group right now called Los Moros de Nela. That's
Mhm.
something exciting, because the second I started working with them, fucking blew up. Comments
Yeah.
everywhere. You guys can follow that at Los Moros de Nela. I mean,
Yeah.
bro, there's just so much stuff, man. There's so much stuff that
Yeah.
I'm excited about. And to be honest with you, bro, I live on the now.
Yeah.
I don't dwell on no past. I live in the now, and I'm working with so many projects. It's just exciting, bro. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
just to be blessed to be able to have the opportunity to even do it, and
Yeah.
for the people to love it back, because essentially it's the people that allow me to continue to do stuff, because it's an exchange. It's a transaction. I give them great work, and they pay for that great work, and then I take that money and I give it to my employees. I give it to the community. I do events. I do so much stuff, and it just goes full circle. And it's just I don't know, man. To me it's like euphoria,
Yeah,
every
yeah.
day.
Well, I imagine it's exciting for you, but it's also exciting to watch, to be honest with you, because I think for any young entrepreneurs or any entrepreneurs in general, it's good to see someone that looks like us to be successful. It's motivating, and it's like, I can do it too. All I have to do is put in the hard work. And you're right. You do
Definitely.
have, you definitely have your hands in a lot of different, business ventures, a lot of different projects going on. And you mentioned some of the things that I want to get into a little bit more, which is the music, Urban Kings Music Group. But
Mm-hmm.
let's take a quick little break, and we'll be right back. You're
For
listening
sure.
to Chicano Rap Radio, raw and uncut.
Hit us up at 805-395-6595 for your special requests, dedications, and shout-outs. Chicano Rap Radio, raw and uncut.
Welcome back to Chicano Rap Radio. We're chopping it up with Jimmy from Urban Kings. We were talking about, his motivational speeches or talks or quotes that he does on social media. His view on wanting to empower other entrepreneurs, and how excited he is to see that now, everybody's starting to get it. He has his hands in a lot of different projects, but I think one of the ones that most people associate Jimmy with is definitely Urban Kings Music Group. And that's what I wanted to get into, because I think that you have played a huge role in regards to contributing to the Chicano rap culture. I mean, you've worked with a lot of acts that are well known in the Chicano rap culture. Charlie Rocampo, Midget Loco, Chino Grande, Miss Crazy, Conejo, Payaso, Duke's Click, yeah, Capone. I mean, the list goes on. You work with some of the real heavyweights.
Yeah.
One of the things that I wanted to ask you is, do you remember who was like the first act that you signed to Urban Kings Music Group when you first got started?
Oh man, there's a lot of people I worked with before anybody got shine. But maybe one of the first people who started getting a lot of shine was Miss Crazy. She's like one of the artists that I mean, obviously we worked in the beginning, but that I saw rise. A lot of people before her, man, that just didn't do nothing with them, just hard
Right.
work, hard work, hard work, and just nobody paid attention. But Miss Crazy was one of the first ones that when I started producing her stuff, just took off.
And I think it's has to be a collaboration between you and the artist as well. I mean, the artist is already naturally talented, but they got to be willing to take some constructive criticism. I mean, in regards to the business side that we were talking about earlier, like, hey, make me some songs like this. You've mentioned in the past that give me 4 singles, things
Yeah,
like that not everybody is hip on that, like, okay, well, maybe I won't bang on every single track, and let me give you your
yeah,
4 singles, because that's what's
yeah,
going to allow them to. Can you expand on that?
yeah. I mean, all the artists were already talented. Let's not get that twisted. What I did was I did artist development. Well, along with their talent, we sat down and we'll come up with ideas and directions and what we should do, what we shouldn't do. And then we'll also go have, some things they want to do and I didn't want them to do. And I would say, fuck it, you know what? Cool, do it as long as it makes you happy, but don't do this. And we'll just go back and forth. But yeah, man, it took a lot of work, man. It took a lot of work and a lot of patience, bro. A lot of patience because you're dealing with two different people and we all have different heads. We all have different minds, which is the whole reason why we connected to begin with, right? They're talented and I'm the businessman. So yeah, man, it was a really cool situation that I got myself into. And it just snowballed, bro. It snowballed, like it just got bigger, more artists, more artists, more artists. Maybe every single artist in the rap game would call me and tell me, I want to work with you. I want to work with you. And I would
Yeah,
just cherry pick certain artists
yeah,
to work with, people who I believed in. Not that I didn't believe in all of them. It's just that I didn't want my plate to be too full.
right,
So I
right.
really zoned in, focused on certain people,
Yeah.
developed them and fucking took off, man. Just took
and
off.
and before you got to that point where people
Mhm.
were like sending you their demo, I mean, what was a way that you were tracking down talent? How did you keep your ear to the
Fuck.
street? How'd you
Wow, the
discover
Swami, bro. The Swami
the
helped a
Swami?
lot.
That's right.
So look, I've been coming to the Swami every single day. Not day, every single Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And what the Swami did was allow me to know who was popping and who wasn't. No artist would come tell me they were popping if they weren't being asked for every single week, right? Like you can't lie to me. Like I know exactly what's popping. So as people would come, customers would come ask, I already know what was popping, what wasn't. So even before me starting a record label, I already knew what type of artwork to do because people were buying it for the artwork or for the music. B, what type of music to do because I know what I would play and what would sound the fastest and the slowest. And 3, I knew who was hot based on what they kept asking for. Even if they weren't having no music out, they were like, do you have so-and-so? Do you have so-and-so? And then I'll be like, clock it in right here in my head. Eventually, once you hear it for so many times, you go and get that so-and-so, you know?
Right.
So the Swami had a lot to do with it, man. And just to put it in perspective, I've been coming to the Swami Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, exchanging money for product every single day since I was 15 years old. Actually 12 years old. No Cartoon Network, no Saturday morning, no every single morning I was here. Putting a pose, selling just straight combat with the customer. So sales tactics, all the way from like I knew everything, bro. And to this day, that's what's been happening to me a lot. Like that's what helps me keep myself to the streets and know what's popping and know what's not. And it's been a beautiful formula for me.
And you were able to, at such a young age, I mean, you were able to, aside from your business acumen that you definitely clearly have, you had a good ear for talent because it wasn't like these artists, you signed them and they flopped. I mean, it seemed like a lot of the artists that were brought under Urban Kings, they just blew up. Well,
at one point.
At one point with hard work and everything,
Yeah.
And one of the things that stands out to me is, when you started working with Charlie Rowe, with, Chino Grande, Midget Loco,
For sure.
Baby Jokes, for example, each one grew and it is now bigger because of your involvement. For example, Baby Jokes, he has a really big solid career as an actor. He's on Mayans, MC. He's a poet. He's done a lot of things that I feel that if you didn't give him that springboard, his path would have been different. I mean, any other artists that you can think of that you've seen grow?
I mean, Miss Crazy is doing really good right now. I mean, just a lot of them, bro. They're all doing good, and I mean, a lot of it, like, I don't even know how to, bro. I don't even know what to say, man. I was just doing my job. I was just doing my job as far as helping them, making sure they get the right marketing, make sure they got on to the right places, to the right shelves, negotiating with like FYEs and Best Buys. I was just doing what I did best, and everything worked out good. And they were also talented, man. So everybody's at what they're at because they are also were badasses back then, and badasses with me made just a lot of badass shit. And yeah, bro, like I honestly do not know how to answer that. Like, I would love to sit here and say, yeah, I did this and it was because of me and all that, but man, I just did my job, bro. I just did what I love doing, just getting them in the shelves and seeing people buy it. And I was just enthusiastic, bro. I loved it. I just love it, bro. I love putting out a product, and the better job you do in marketing, the more valuable it becomes. And just seeing the product go from here to here is the most exciting shit for me, bro. It's like, it's that dopamine that kicks in that's all I do all day when I wake up, come up with the ideas of how I'm going to make this bigger, how I'm going to make this bigger. So when I was working with Richard Cabral, same thing with him, Baby Jokes, we did a music video called Sidekick. If you guys could go check it out. It was directed by Jeff Reyes, which is a huge director now. We were his first gig. He did Nipsey Hussle now. He's done movies, Netflix, dope ass food. Check him out, Jeff Reyes. And I was just really good at connecting dots, bro, because I was so aware of who was bad, who was badass. I was really aware of who were the ones that weren't doing it and who were doing it. And then I would just connect the dots. And as I connected the dots, things just got bigger and bigger and bigger. And the artists got bigger and bigger and bigger. And I'm just very excited and happy to see them all, like, just, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's dope.
So to you, I mean, you see it as, you were just showing up to work. You were just doing your job, but part of, doing your job is that you definitely have a very special set of skills. And,
For sure, for sure.
but, I mean, can you give us maybe one or two pointers for any, up and coming artists or record label execs or anybody out there in regards to like the marketing, because marketing is big in regards
Damn,
to getting the
for
music
sure.
grown. I mean, give us some Jedi mind, mastering technique.
Man, it's really basic, bro. Love what you do. Of course, that's the most corniest shit ever. But intern, like, go look for mentors. Go shadow a company you want to become, what you want to become, and learn off of that. Because my mistake was not doing that. Nowadays, bro, I try to network with as many people as I can. And if I knew what I knew today when I was young, I would be so much further than now. But networking is key, man. Keeping relationships is key. Being the most coolest person, bro. Like, just be yourself, like, don't try to be something you're not. Recognize your weaknesses. Understand that you're not like, no matter how good you are at what you are, you're never going to be as good as another person that's better than you. Always keep thriving to be better. Um, get out of your box, bro. That's one of the biggest things that helped me out. My biggest mentors who I look up to are not of my community.
Mm-hmm.
And don't get me wrong, I do have a lot of people of my community that I love and look up to, but to a certain extent, because or
Right.
else I would be going in circles doing what everybody else is doing.
Right. Right.
Right. So I have to look out of my box or out of my circle to really understand what the bigger corporations are doing and what their moves are that I could be applying to my company in order for me to get their results.
And
So
and why do you think that is, that our community in regards to like the Chicano community doesn't have as many, titans of business, as many, business leaders or
mm,
mentors that perhaps other,
I mean, it's not just our community, bro. It's every community. Every community doesn't have rich people walking around. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I have Asian friends that aren't rich. I got white people that aren't rich, and I also got people that are rich. You know what I'm saying? So, it's not necessarily that our community is not successful. It's that my environment where I came from,
I see. I see.
I didn't have the access to
Mm-hmm.
talk to people who were of my community that were successful. They weren't going to talk to me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Right.
it has nothing to do with not even race, bro. It's just our environment, but when, when, for me, I understood that everything I was trying to do, the doors were being closed. That was my number one thing I understood. Number two was, what do I need to do to change that? And it was all my state of mind, bro, my mentality, how I think, how I talk, how I look, how I approach, how just stuff that I was like, man, I need to change the way I do that. And it's really hard because it's me. Even to this day, bro, I should be wearing a suit, but I'm not, because it's really hard. There's levels to it. But I was managed to change, from doing this, you know, to like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, what's up, man? How are you?
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
I managed to you know my language, how I spoke, my words, my vocabulary, bro. Just so much that you need to work on. And here's the biggest thing, bro, is that none of us was there's nobody here, I don't care what race you come from, is born with these traits. We learn from our environment,
Yeah.
right? We learn from our environment. There's
Right.
nowhere I can go right now to teach me to be something I'm not. Like, I need to do it myself. I need to do my own research. I need to be aware that I'm the one stopping myself. And that's one of my biggest philosophies to myself is that I do certain things that stop me from becoming successful without even knowing I'm doing it. And I need to figure out what those things are every single day. So every single day, I'm listening to seminars. I'm listening to uh Bob Proctor. He's a really good guy, bro. Listen to Alan Watts is a really good guy to listen to. They're all philosophers, bro. They're all philosophers. Some of them have been dead since the 70s, and they
Right.
kick so much knowledge, bro. To this
Right.
day, I'm just like mind blown.
So you're just
Yeah, bro.
soaking up game. You're just soaking up game daily,
Every
and
day, bro. Every day. That's all I do. Every day. I don't even listen to music. I sell music,
right.
and I do music.
Yeah.
But every single day, bro, I'm listening to. I mean, eventually I do get bored of it, and I'll listen to music. But that's that's it, bro. I'm just listening to seminars,
Uh,
videos,
Right.
podcasts. The Mike
Right. Right.
Tyson podcast, the new uh that he has, fucking incredible, bro. If you knew who Mike Tyson was back then compared to now, like, bro, you're looking at something that's completely fucking different. How did he do that, and why can I do that?
Right.
You know, what did he do that to become who he is now, and why can I do that?
Yeah.
What did Elon Musk do that to do what he's at right now that I need to learn so I could be like him? He's just, there's nothing different from him than me besides fucking him being rich right now, right? So
Yeah.
how did he acquire that I wanna
Mhm.
that's what I want?
I think one of the things that is the key to your success, from my perspective, is that one, you don't stop learning. You don't ever stop trying to evolve, and two, it seems to me that like you have your mindset is also the right mindset, because you keep talking about, like, you talk to yourself, you tell yourself these things. It's all about building yourself up and having the right
Sure.
mindset to manifest these things into reality, which I also think is
Oh,
very, very powerful.
success is mindset, bro. It's not money. It's mindset. Money is just a leverage to level how successful you are with your mind.
Right,
Like,
right.
mindset's everything, bro. Like that, and that's why I'm telling you, I have conversations with myself every single day, bro. And that's when I get on my live and I talk about it with people.
Right, right.
I'm really just venting to what I'm telling myself 10 minutes before.
Yeah, yeah.
So I go on and share it with my people,
Yeah.
and yeah, so it's, yeah, you nailed it, bro. You nailed it.
Well, it's good, and thank you for sharing that with us. Because there's people out there that I think you need to hear it, or want to hear it. You do need to get in the right mindset in order to become successful. And like what you said about money, that it's not all about money. And I've even heard some really successful people saying that money is just a way to keep score, of how
Yeah,
much
for
work, or how much.
sure.
You know what I
For
mean?
sure it is, man. For sure.
Let's continue the conversation right now. We're gonna take another quick little break, and we'll be right back. You're listening to Chicano Rap Radio, raw and uncut.
Chicano Rap Radio, raw and uncut.
Welcome back to Chicano Rap Radio. We're chopping it up with Jimmy of Urban Kings Music Group. We've been talking about how he, gives us motivational things. How he pumps himself up. He talks to himself, and he, continues to give out positivity, to himself and to all of us, because it is about having the right mindset. Since we're all trying to chase this success, being in the right mindset is important. One of the things that I wanted to ask you about was your clothing brand, because I see that you're heavily focused on your clothing brand, and it's been very successful thus far. What's the name of your clothing brand, and give me a little background information on why you chose that name?
So it's at Old English Brand. You can check it out on Instagram. Maybe you can go check it out right now. You know what? It's really hard to come up with names, especially when you want something to go to the highest potential, right? So this is a long time ago when I came up with Old English Brand, the name, and it was just supposed to be my artist merch. It wasn't supposed to be a clothing brand, and the name Old English Brand just came to my mind. Actually, the game song, the Old English Brand game song.
Yeah, it makes me think of a 40.
Yeah, when I heard that song, I was like, man, that's a sick ass name. So I looked up at the URLs, I looked up all the social medias, and it wasn't taken. So I grabbed it.
Yeah.
I grabbed it and ran with it. At that time, Urban Kings was really my main focus, and Old English Brand was kind of being my side hustle of just to put on t-shirts onto the artist, and then the shirt would sell itself. So I was doing I wasn't really focusing on what the designs were about, as long as they were what was hip, what was now. And as I was selling them at my shop, I was starting to discover that people were coming and buying my gear. I was selling a lot of it, but they weren't like telling me, "Hey, let me see that OE shirt." They were just like, "Oh, let me see that skull shirt. Oh, let me see the bandana T-shirt." And then I was like, "Man, bro, like nobody really cares about my brand." And then that's when I started to really come up with the concept of, damn, how do I brand a brand so the brand has value?
Right.
And that's when I started learning about um, different strategies of brand equity to give it brand equity. I started understanding what Louis Vuitton was doing. Like, why does Louis Vuitton sell at a high value, even though it's like every other purse? So about 4 years ago or 3 years ago is when I rebranded my brand, and I shaved off everybody off of who was following us. That was not into like that, right? Because they just wanted to know what was the hippest, palm trees, uh, shoes hanging out the lines, like the stuff that it does sell, which is really good. I'm not putting it down, but I really wanted to build a brand that had representation of our culture, and OE is pretty much paying homage to the LA West Coast culture.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. Without a
that's
doubt.
that's what it is. I'm not trying to recreate like what I was. I was trying to rebrand and then tying it up and make it so dope that everybody can wear it, not just the Chicanos or Chicano rap. You know what I mean?
I think Old English is also very representative of, I think, street culture. I mean, I think most of it originated over here on the West Coast and the LA market. But if you think of Old English, there's still a lot of fonts out there that, have
Yeah,
their
for sure.
origins in
And
Old English.
yeah, and then the name OE is a dope name, but it also has its downfall, because if nobody doesn't know it, they would think of the 40.
Yeah.
If nobody doesn't know it, they would think of the font. So I I put it to this way: if you tell somebody Old English and they think of my brand, I've done my job, because
Yeah.
I conquered and took the brand of that name to be my brand and not 40 or the font. And
Yeah.
of course, it's not going to work with everybody, but that's
Yeah.
my job. That's my job, is to make sure that I do that worldwide. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's that's what I'm working towards, and that's why the brand equity is so important. I don't want to be those brands that are culture vultures that are jacking our culture. I want to enhance our culture. I want to cultivate it. I want to make it better, dress
Right.
better, look better, wear shit that you're proud to wear it, not just because it has something that everybody else is doing. And it's hard, bro. It's hard, because I could easily put a picture that would sell fast, bro, fast, 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 and I can make money. But then I'm not really developing a movement.
Right.
I'm
Right. You're
just
not
I'm just
staying true to
taking
your
money.
vision.
Yeah, I'm just taking the money just because I could. I'm just
Yeah.
taking it, but I'm not trying to do that, man. So, yeah. Thankfully, I have a strong team, man. It's not me. Old English brand at this point is my team. It's not me.
Right.
And that's another thing that I thrive to do. I'm about building different businesses and then building different teams to handle that business, so that I can move on to bigger businesses. And then I have portions of businesses, offices, stores, you know, different multiple outlets of revenue coming in,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not the one running it. I'm foreseeing it.
Right.
That to me is what a CEO really does,
Yeah.
right? I mean, that's why I hate telling people I'm a CEO, because everybody's a CEO. Like
Yeah.
my goal is to build different businesses, like I mentioned, and they all run by themselves with their own brand managers, fucking their own CEOs, and everybody's making money. Meanwhile, I'm moving to bigger and better things, and everything still runs in a harmonic way. If
Right.
that how you say harmonic? Harmonic.
Harmonious, maybe in a
Yeah,
harmonious.
yeah, yeah, bro. That's so. As you can see, like some of my mentors who I shadowed, who I look up to, that's what they do. That they're in that level. They're
Yeah.
they're in multi-million, not hundred thousands.
One of the things that I really admire about Old English or OE is that you stay relevant with the times. I know you did a drop sometime around the election telling people to vote. And so I think that's important for you to touch on things going on in the community. Is that something that is part of your goal, or are you just trying to do different things throughout the season?
No, man. When it comes down to the vote stuff, that right there was 100% of me of having that integrity of doing what I say I'm doing, and that's to cultivate the community and bring them the idea at least to go out there and vote. That drop, I lost. I lost on that drop. That was a straight loss, but it wasn't a loss because at the end of the day, it's building the brand's mission statement. It's showing
Mhm.
people that we're out there to grow our community versus just saying it or just doing t-shirts to take people's money, like I was telling you earlier. So it all intertwines, bro. It all intertwines, and one of it, yeah, it is 100% for the community, and second is just me keeping my word, and my team too, because
Well,
that wasn't my idea. That was my team's idea.
well, and that's I think that's solid that you're able to work as a team and take things into consideration. Not like, no, I'm the boss. I say
Hell
what
no,
goes.
bro. Man, I credit my team, bro. 99, bro. I'm
Yeah.
not the one coming up with the ideas. I'm not the one printing. I'm not the one coming up with the slogans. I'm not the one here at 9 a.m. opening up my shop. I'm not the one at my warehouse. It's my employees, bro. I'm just the one that is orchestrating it, that is having direction. We all sit down, and that's one of the skill sets that I've learned is, man, being the boss is cool and all that, but it's not cool if your life revolves of you doing everybody else's job.
Right.
You don't
Right.
got no
Right.
team if you're doing their job.
Right.
So we pretty much sit in the table, and it's the like the committee, it's like the crew. Like if we vote, and if I get voted out, then we go with what I don't want to do,
That's right.
because it's based on analytics. It's based on what makes sense, rational thinking, rational marketing.
Mhm.
It's not biased. I can't be biased towards it.
I think as long as you continue to work with things like that, I think it's going to be a recipe for more success for Old English, for OE. You're already doing really good things with it, and it's going to continue to grow because you are willing to take input from the rest of your team members. Now, going back to the music, I wanted to also ask you there's a new group that you're working with. Can you tell me the name of that group, and also let us know why you chose to kind of pivot into that direction, into that genre of music?
Man, bro, it's called Los Morros de Nela. So
Okay.
Los Morros de Northeast LA.
Okay.
We released our first single 2 weeks ago. So go look it up. And me being involved in Chicano rap, um, and especially how people look at me as me being, I was the biggest one at that time, or among the biggest, because definitely there was other labels as big as me, or even bigger. But me hitting the ceiling on that and being disappointed, like, man, this is it. No matter how hard I try, no matter what I do, like, I couldn't get it further. And as I'm seeing right now, nobody has been able to do it either. I haven't seen a Baby, a Cardi B, or those type of levels of artists from our
Right.
community. So, it was disappointing, man. So I didn't get away from it. I was just focusing on other music. I'm sorry, on other brands and other business ventures, right? But when I met Los Moros and Nela, it just, you know, it just made so much sense, man. Um, Especially right now with the whole movement of the corrido movement. An artist puts some music out and they're getting 40 million views in 2-3 months. I mean, that's like, who else is doing that in the hip
Right.
hop in the hip
Right.
hop world of people, so it just, for me, it just made more rational sense to put all my energy in something that I can clearly see is already huge,
Right. Right. Right.
bigger than what I've already done.
Right.
So it just made a lot of sense. And the artists, they're all 18 or 19, 20, really young artists, very talented. And I believe in them, bro. I believe in them, and I believe hard work, and I believe in talent, and it's gonna happen. That's
Yeah.
for me, for me, for me, it's, I don't see it as not happening.
Right.
Like, I
And
don't know. I just, yeah. I mean, you can go check out the Instagram. It's blowing up.
yeah. Well, I think if you're going to apply some of the things that you learned, with putting out the other artists that were on your label, everyone from Chino Grande, Midget Loco, Jasper, Miss Crazy, I mean, everybody that you work with and the level of success that you were able to get, even though there was like a plateau, even though there was a ceiling, and I think, hitting that ceiling is because of a lot of other outside factors.
For sure.
There's
For
there's
sure.
some politics
100%.
involved. There's a lot of other things, but you being able to apply those things to what you already see as a winning combination, I think you're gonna you have a definitely a winner on your hands, and I can't wait to see group number 2, group number 3, group number 4, because if we look back on your history, I mean that's definitely what you're gonna do. You're gonna perfect it with one, and
that's
then start signing other
that's the
people.
direction, man. That's the idea. But man, you kind of nailed it, bro. And it's crazy that you answer my questions better sometimes, man. With from what I was doing then till now, my marketing team, you're talking about the growing is 100,000 more smarter than what I've ever done in my life. My marketing team is so on point, knowing how to do, knowing how to maneuver in the market is we're we're surpassed what I've ever done. So
Yeah.
that's why for me, Los Moros and Nela is so easy because it's not easy. Fuck. Let me. I gotta make sure I'm correct with my words. It's not that it's easy, but I'm in the greatest position I've ever been to make anything that I touch go big.
That's right.
You know.
And
So
and and I know you guys have a single out right now, but is there an EP or a full length album, in the works?
definitely, man. We're gonna drop a music video to that single and soon. If you guys are seeing this and times have already passed, go look it up on YouTube. That's directed by George Orozco, who is one of the top, for me, upcoming directors. He's directed everybody from Trippie Redd, Fora, Hobson. I mean, bro, his portfolio is huge. So I brought him to do the first single music video. We already are recording the second single. I mean, they got like 11 singles that we need to put out.
Right.
I mean, that's how talented these kids are, man. And they're, like I said, they're no older than 20, man.
Well, talented and hungry.
Bro, amazing, man. And I love it. I love it. I'm telling you, man, that shit excites me, man.
Yeah.
It excites me.
Well, we're definitely going to have to, have you back on the show sometime in the future so that we can get a little update on what's been going on in your world and with the music and the artists that you're working with. But are there any last words or any, last piece of advice that you want to leave the fans with?
Fuck advice, man. Keep going. Don't stop. Keep going. I don't care how old you are, and I don't care what part of your business you're at. Keep going. Don't stop. Don't let the gas go. And also, one of the biggest things that nobody taught me, man, is, nobody never taught me how to handle depression, failure. Nobody never taught me how to handle, uh, people talking shit about you and all this stuff. So definitely, that's going to be part of the business. Just know that it comes with it.
Right.
Learn how to cope with it, and you'll last very long. You'll last
That's
longer than a lot more than a lot more people. And then, yeah, and also too, like, I haven't mentioned my personal Instagram, which is at Urban Kings. Follow me there at Urban Kings. I don't post. I post a lot of stuff that I'm doing, but it's better if you follow my brands individually because they get updated daily when my Instagram might not be updating on my other business ventures. Most of my personal is just me, whatever I feel like posting. But
Right.
that's at Urban Kings. And that's it, bro. I appreciate you having me on here. Um, like I said, this is probably my fourth interview now. And if you guys like this interview, make sure you guys subscribe to my man right here for reaching out to me. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
That's right, G. Well, we appreciate the plug, and we're gonna plug you right back in by telling everybody that continue to stay posted with Jimmy and Urban Kings Music Group. They have a lot of
That's
things in the
right.
works. Check out his Old English brand. I mean, check out his videos on his YouTube channel because he's kicking down a lot of knowledge, and you're definitely gonna continue to grow as an individual and as an entrepreneur if you apply some of that knowledge that he's kicking down, free of charge, by the way. So make sure you take advantage of it. Thank you so much for joining us, homie. I appreciate it. You're listening to Chicano Rap Radio, raw and uncut.
Chicano Rap Radio, raw and uncut.